In darkness, I shall be light. In times of doubt, I shall keep faith.
We're at Gamescom 2016, catching up on a game that's been a long time coming, Dawn of War 3. First of all, here at Gamescom, what are you guys showing off? This feels like this sort of a great place to bring Dawn of War.
Absolutely. The European market and the German market have been huge for Dawn of War from the very get-go. So it's a great pleasure to be here at Gamescom and show off a complete playable level. You know, this is the first time the public is getting to play the game, and as a game maker, this is the days I live for, right? This is when people get to play it, I get to hear feedback, I get to really see the joy on people's faces, and I couldn't be prouder.
If you set the stage, what kind of map is it? What kind of scenario are people playing?
Yeah, so we're brought a complete late campaign mission, so it's later in the campaign on a mysterious planet called Acheron, which is a planet of frozen icebergs and lava rivers. The Space Marines, who are the heroes of this particular mission, are trying to fight through lines and waves of the Eldar army. Essentially, there's a mythical weapon that is manifested on this planet, and all the armies are fighting for it. Gabriel Angelos, the leader of the Blood Ravens, who's been the hero of Dawn of War from the beginning, sort of has a suspicion that things are going to go bad if someone gets a hold of this weapon, so he's trying to fight through the Eldar lines to get to it first. And you get to bring in Lady Solaria, this giant Imperial Knight robot who backs up the Space Marines, and you face the wrath of the Eldar. It's awesome fun.
You talked about giant robots. That's something that's being added to the mix this time. That's something that's a little bit new. How would you say that you're sort of transforming the Dawn of War experience with this game?
So we're really trying to capture the large army battles that put Dawn of War on the map in the first place and inject just really larger than life heroes into that. And the largest of those are these giant mechs, the Imperial Knight for the Space Marines and the Wraith Knight for the Eldar, both of which are on display in this mission. And for the hardcore fans out there, I should say that Imperial Knights aren't technically Space Marines. They're allies, but they're there to back you up.
You need allies in a war, right?
Absolutely. We're really bringing just bigger and better battles and units than we've ever been able to before.
Cool. Looking at this table that you set up, feels like there are some significant sort of winks at the game. What can you tell us of this?
Yeah, so this is a table setup that the guys at Warhammer Cologne put together for us using the unit list from the game. So all the units you see here will be in the game. So this is the Eldar and Space Marines clashing. You'll see Sniper Scouts at the top, the Whirlwind Barrage, Dreadnought, Assault Marines, Devastator Marines, and of course the Imperial Knight. And then on the Eldar side, we can see the Viper, which is one of their skimmer units, so they can fly over obstacles, the Howling Banshees, the Wraith Knight, the Wraith Lord, just a wide variety of units across the army. Some of these units will be heroes in the game, some will be line units, but this is the type of battle you will be able to fight in real time.
And of course, base building is also part of that mix. What's the significance of base building in this game, and why is it important to bring it back?
So base building is really important on two fronts. As a gameplay tool, it's proven itself in RTS for since the very beginning. It's very useful for pacing the game, for giving targets to the enemy, for giving a way to sort of express that you're taking over a part of the map. It opens up really interesting tactical gameplay. The other thing base building does is it gives us a really great opportunity to go into the character of each of the factions. So in the mission we have here, you're playing the Space Marines, who are these, warrior knights crusading across the galaxy. And so you're not really building buildings, you're calling them down from orbit, and they smash into the ground, and they use rockets to drill into the ground, because why wouldn't you use rockets, I guess? And it's all about delivering that fantasy. And the Eldar, who are cagier, who use the webway, which is sort of a alternate dimension, if you will, to move from place to place. Their buildings warp in from that place, and when you destroy them, they create a sort of black hole and swirl around and get sucked into the warp, and it just really emphasizes what makes each of those races special.
We've been talking a lot about the Eldar and the Space Marines. The Orks are in there too. Are you talking anything about that?
Well, we haven't really released a lot of details about the Orks yet, but they are the third playable race. They're just as important as the Space Marines and the Eldar, and I can't wait to get them in front of the public, because they're just a huge amount of fun. They're both savage and hilarious and ridiculous in equal measure, and I think people are really going to enjoy our take on them.
How would you say that because obviously this is like a set universe, you can't alter sort of their skill sets,
Yeah.
or how they're balanced out. How do you feel with these three in there, and why these three particular, and how they sort of match together in sort of a paper rock scissors or whatever kind of way?
Yeah, we chose these three races for two reasons. One, and most importantly, is because they created that gameplay triangle that you're talking about. It's not a hard rock, paper, scissors relationship, but you really get three different styles of gameplay, three really different approaches that play off each other in really interesting combinations. When we get into the multiplayer, there's definitely going to be a team component there, so how these races interact on teams is also important to us. So that's the most important reason, is the gameplay creates this foundation that we can then expand after the main release, right? Like with other races and other heroes and so on.
That's way too soon to talk about, right?
Yes. The other thing that it allowed us to do is tell the story we wanted to tell, have a real variety in voices and points of view. The Eldar are one of the rare races in 40K that have a significant number of women in leadership roles. So that allowed us to create a different tone than we would have if we were just had various variations of angry dudes, right?
We do love angry dudes in RTS games.
There are plenty of angry dudes in Dawn of War 3, don't get me wrong, and I love me some angry dudes, but it's nice to have that variety there. So that was where we chose those races.
Cool. If we touch on the sort of the roadmap ahead with the game, how do you approach that, and do you have plans for betas, etc.?
Yeah, I mean we're still working out some of those plans, so there's nothing we're really ready to talk about. But we definitely are going to be transitioning into a multiplayer phase of our press tours and so on. Once we've got a lot out about the campaign and the various races, and then we'll be doing plenty of testing and so on. So there will be opportunities for people to play the game ahead of the launch, but the details aren't public yet.
Cool. If we just maybe to finish off, like what it's like for you guys to sort of get to return to Dawn of War, because it was sort of coming, but then Dawn of War 3 didn't happen, and it's been a long road. What's that been like?
Well, it's a great pleasure. I mean, I came to Relic to work on Dawn of War games like over 10 years ago. I started on Dark Crusade, and just to be able to return to this is great. And it never went away for us. We always knew there would be a Dawn of War 3. with the, several years ago with the bankruptcy of THQ, that slowed us down. Obviously, Sega has been a great partner for us and really supported us moving forward with Dawn of War 3 and taking the time to really make the best Dawn of War yet. And finally, we're able to talk about it. Finally, we're able to get people to play it, and it's a pleasure.
Very excited to play it. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
In the face of death, I shall have no remorse.